Hello there, YouTube family. Welcome back to another episode of Distance Bonds, where we explore intricacies of maintaining love across borders and miles apart. My name is Liz Macau.
My name is Chaddy.
Welcome to today's episode. In the previous episodes, we explored, we shared a foundation of our YouTube channel, and we also shared our personal insights growing up in families separated by distance.
Today's episode is a pretty different episode. We're going to dive deep in the hearts of our story. We're going to tell you about the 9-year odyssey and the journey of our love and how we were able to maintain love and connection from different continents, now from Kenya to the USA, and how we were able to navigate that situation.
And we hope our story is going to inspire anyone who is in a similar path, and enjoy. So, my first question.
All right.
Of course, I'm going to start with a question. When did we meet, and how did we meet?
All right. It's not very straightforward because let's see. We met in 2010.
Yes, 2010.
Yeah, so for the very first time we met in 2010 physically. Prior to that, we had heard of each other, and we had talked a little bit over the phone.
Yes.
Because we share a mutual friend. Just to give you guys a brief analysis, we do share a mutual friend. His name is Vinny, such a great guy. He's my childhood friend. I grew up with him, and we just kept connection even as we just grew from teenagers into adulthood. We just maintained that friendship. And a while back when we were younger, he actually introduced me to her because they went to the same school. They went to the same high school, and he was able to, he was talking about her all the time. And then I was very curious to
What were some of the things he was talking to you about me?
So first of all, I should say he's
might have chomead me.
No, he's a great character. Vin is a great character. He's a people's person. He's he has lots of friends, and he kept on telling me there's this one particular friend that he can't quite figure out, and that was you. He said you were different from everybody else.
Yeah.
Because he said you were reserved and you are not, falling for his charm. Because he's a charming guy, but you were very you didn't fall into that. Because I know. Yeah, a lot of people are. So anyway, yeah, he told me he couldn't quite figure you out, and I was like, man, this is pretty interesting. And then, but he gave you so many compliments, and I was really curious to.
Thank you, Vin.
I was very curious to know who you are. So one time he just I wrote something for you, just saying hello and requesting to know more about you.
Yeah.
And she obliged, and we started talking over the phone, and before we finally met.
Wow. Yeah, I remember he brought a chemistry book, a textbook, and you wrote something on the cover, asking me to take care of your brother. And I'm like, he's in Form 3, can take care of himself and all that. But I guess you knew what you were doing.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I think you've given a whole.
Yeah. So, but now finally coming to meet up physically for the first time.
Yeah.
It was December 2010 in Nairobi. Because of course prior to that we were talking just over the phone.
And it was only for like 1 month maybe.
Yeah. And then you lived in Tala, and I lived in Nairobi. So we didn't get to meet stuff.
Yeah.
So most of our communication was via phone calls.
Yeah.
So finally you told me you're coming to town.
Yes.
To visit a family member. And I was like, well, since you're visiting a family member, I would probably take this opportunity we can get to meet, because we've been talking over the phone. It's finally to put the face behind the voice, and so you agreed, and we met.
Yes. And can we say the rest is history?
The rest is history, and it's been good.
Wow, such a good just reminding me some of the things, like.
Do you remember that night
back
though?
Then? Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yes.
As you're talking about it, I'm like, oh, did I do that?
So prior to us meeting,
because the meetup was not that easy. I was an 18-year-old. I had just finished high school.
Correct.
And I had just visited my aunt, and I asked my cousin to accompany me to come meet you up. And of course, we had to lie because, we are going to meet some guys somewhere and we don't know what to say. We cannot say we are going to meet guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So that kind of.
So what were your feelings, and just right prior to us meeting, how are you feeling, on that night?
Honestly, I was kind of excited, but nervous at the same time.
For sure.
Because I was just wondering how our chemistry is gonna be. Our chemistry kind of clicked over the phone.
Yeah.
But now physically, I don't know. Like I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
So I was nervous about meeting you.
Yeah.
What about you?
I was quite anxious also. As much as I was excited to meet you, I was anxious because exactly. Also, I didn't know how we're gonna bond, how we're gonna click. Of course, we had a good connection over the phone, but
yeah.
I didn't know what to expect when we finally met. So just prior to meeting, I called Vinny. I'm like, so Izzy's in town, and I would like to see her, and I would really appreciate it if you came over and and accompany me, because at least you know her a little better.
You're not sure, but
I mean, I was sure, but I just didn't have I was not very confident at the time. I was like, can you come and accompany me to go see her? Yeah, and he was kind enough to tag along.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I remember we talked about so many things, like not really many things, but just like getting to know each other that day after we met. And can you remember one specific thing that stood out for you when we met?
So I think your personality, the way you radiated, like your energy, it still reigns supreme. I had over the phone, I could get that, but physically when I met you, you were very laid back.
Yeah.
You're very laid back. You seem very confident. Super chill. But you knew exactly like what you wanted and your anticipation and stuff like that. And just your personality, really, like I was like, my goodness, I really want to know this girl. Like I was very like smitten.
Yeah.
I was and I thought you were very beautiful also. Like I had seen your pictures, of course, through from Vinny and stuff like that. But meeting you for the first time, I was like, oh my God, she is beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah, I was really smitten for sure.
Wow. To me, I think up to date, like mademo watu nasema, like I want a tall, dark, handsome.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what I was looking for, and just my imaginations, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like the only piece that was missing was seeing you, right?
Yeah.
Like talking to you over the phone, like I was like, this is my guy, and just seeing you, I feel like you filled that piece. And your physicality, your personality too, like I feel like you just clicked, and I was like, you know what, I'm in for it. Like yeah.
For sure. I wasn't disappointed either. I liked what I saw, and I liked your personality, and then I was just thrilled to to be able to get to know you more, for sure. Yeah, that's pretty much one thing that's stood out.
Yeah. And I think after that meeting, the next meeting was in 2011, in my mom's wedding in August.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's when you broke the news to me. Remember that you were leaving, right?
Yes.
Yes. So how was that? Because I didn't know, like I knew like I had invited you and Vin to my mom's wedding, but I didn't know that there was something that you're gonna tell me.
Yeah.
So how was your feeling, like traveling from Nairobi to Tala for the wedding, and like there's something you wanna?
So prior to that, most of our relationship was of course over the phone, really, because it was very the cities and stuff. Some things we can say over the phone,
of course. Yes. Yeah.
I just was worried that
and you didn't act like someone who's gonna break any news to me.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
but the thing, it was a long time cooking. I was trying to find words and how to say it, and I knew initially, to be honest with you, I knew when I tell you that, I knew that was probably gonna be the end of us. So I had some reservation about telling you about that, but at the same time I had to say it because I was gonna be out of the country. Yeah. So at some point, I had to gain the courage to tell you that I won't
Mm-hmm.
be this. What we had
Mm-hmm.
was gonna be challenged by the distance that I was about to disclose to you.
Yeah.
Because I had gotten an opportunity prior to studying college.
Mm-hmm.
I got an opportunity to migrate to the U.S.
Yeah.
And finally wanted to tell you that I will be leaving the country.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really recall how I felt when you broke the news to me, but honestly, after presenting it to me, I was like, I think this is something that gonna take time for me to think about. But at that moment, of course, I was like, why not? Yeah, like I was gonna wait for you, and that's it. Like we're in a relationship, yes, and we are not looking forward to get married in the next 1 year. So yeah, it wasn't. I don't feel like it was something big for me at that moment. Yeah.
Yeah. So then after I told you that, what gave you so much confidence to just agreeing to wait, even because we hadn't dated for a long time. We just dated like
For 1 year.
for a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. What gave you the confidence to just to feeling like it's something that you would be able to do, just waiting?
I think the following year I was joining college, and the fact that I was I was just looking forward to pursue my career. I felt like I was gonna be busy like with my career, and I won't get any time to worry about or my boyfriend being away
Away.
from me. Yeah, so I think that was my
That's why it was a little bit easier for you
yeah
to agree
yeah
to.
yeah. I think
And I could see
that's
that.
what made easy for me.
Yeah, and also I should like just say like we there was some naivety also
Mm-hmm.
in us.
Mm-hmm.
For me expecting you to wait for me even after just dating for a little bit, and then I have to leave the country, and then even to you agreeing to waiting, I feel like there was still some naivety in there.
I know.
We're
Yeah.
still young, and we
Yeah.
wanted to carry out with what we're having, but
I
at the same time,
honestly it's like I knew there's no way we were gonna make it with
yeah.
that distance. I thought distance is it's going to be the biggest barrier, of course. And I doubted if we're gonna. Yeah. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna say yes, but
Yeah,
yeah.
it's it was always going to be a challenge, but when you said that you were willing to wait, it gave me some confidence. As much as I knew maybe just
Did
you're
you doubt
naive.
though?
Yes, I did. To be honest with you, when I told you, I knew you were gonna say it's just not gonna work. There's no way, because we're still building each other, building, getting to know each other. So I didn't think you're gonna say yes to
Yeah.
waiting.
Yeah.
So yes, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And the day comes because when you broke the news, that was August 11th, August 13th in 2011, and you were leaving in September, the following month.
Correct.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
the following month, a week before your birthday, right?
correct. Yeah.
So the day comes, you're leaving. I didn't even get to see you because our families didn't, we had not, made everything official. So I didn't get to see you. So I am in my aunt's shop and I receive a text from you. Goodbye, my love. And that's it. Yeah. Then the reality kicks in.
Yeah, and also just days prior to me leaving, you know how it is usually, like so much things going on.
Yes.
Like I was worrying about like I have to go to this, make sure this is good. I was in college,
Friends too.
and my
Yeah.
friends, I have to
Yeah.
say goodbye to my friends. I have to like because I was in school, I had to go talk to the dean and tell them that I'm going to be leaving the country.
Yeah.
The whole procedure.
Yeah.
So, and then also it was just a short period of time that I had
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that everything is right before I leave.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't get enough time to like to just ponder
Mm-hmm.
in what was awaiting us.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the regrets that I have the most, is we didn't get to just sit
Time,
into
yes.
that time. We'll just sit into and just with each other and just trying to like to be there for each other the final days before like me leaving.
Yeah. With the green card, was this your first try?
Oh yeah. So this was my very first time applying for a green card. And it's funny story because I wasn't even like I didn't even know much about it, honestly.
Yeah.
My aunts told me about the DV lottery
Mm-hmm.
process.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who don't know, the DV lottery is when the United States gives opportunities to countries across the world
Mm-hmm.
to bring their citizens to migrate to the US.
Yes.
For either permanent, usually is a permanent residency.
Yeah.
And then after some years, then they give you a citizenship.
Yes.
So my aunt kept on talking about this to me and my sister.
Mm-hmm.
So just to appease her and to get her off my back, I decided to participate in this DV lottery thing in 2010.
Yeah.
And so I just applied for it and forgot about it, and I joined college really, and just started living my life. I even forgot that I had applied for that. So later on in the year, that's when like the email, and they were like, well, you are selected.
Oh no.
You were selected as a part of the procedure, and and now we can give you an opportunity to move to the US. And I was like,
right when you just had started
I
life.
just started life, man. So it was definitely a bittersweet moment for me, because I knew you, and I was getting to know you, and I had friends in school, and I was having such a good time. And I was waiting for like me joining college, and I having such a great time. But anyway, such is life. I also took the opportunity to move here. It was a great opportunity for me,
yes,
because it presented me an opportunity to go to a good school, better school actually, and just pretty much the opportunity to being in the US, the opportunity that comes with just being in this environment. So it was my very first time, and luckily went through.
Wow. I don't think. Let me just say you are a lucky guy.
Yes, for sure.
Because I know there are so many people that try like 100 times.
Yeah, I know people try a couple of times before you're actually getting it. Yeah, I'm grateful for that.
Well, here we are. Chadi moved to the US.
Yeah.
And I think we got to talk 2 days after.
Yeah. So speaking about that, what were some of the initial challenges that you think we faced as when I finally moved, to America, and you left there?
Well, I took some time to comprehend everything, and I would say my first initial challenge, my first challenge actually was time zones, different time zones.
Oh yeah, for
dealing
sure.
with time difference and all that. Yeah, and these didn't even like I tried 2 days after you left. That's when I tried calling your aunt. Yeah, and I tried calling her around 5 p.m. Kenya time. Then I introduced myself, and she's like, "Oh, Elizabeth, I'm sorry, we are sleeping. It's 5 a.m. over here." I'm like, wait a minute, 5 a.m. So that means it's a whole 8-hour difference, So so I had to deal with that, of course, and and dealing with like trying to plan on how like our time, talking time, and all that. So that was my first challenge, of course. I can't think of any.
Yeah, for me, that for sure was a big one. The time difference thing, because we needed to figure out when to call and when to talk to each other. But also I think another initial challenge was getting used to the new reality of we cannot be together like physically,
the physical,
and it will be a very long time at that also. So just dealing with the reality of that's what's happening, accepting it was a little bit difficult. And it took some time before it's actually like sunk in that's pretty much the reality of what we are being faced with.
I just thought of something else. And I think we talked about this when we were having like doubts of whether we're actually gonna be together again. I would call that a challenge because that ran for like some time.
For sure.
Like there's sometimes I would be like, there's no way he's coming back, so doubts.
And I understand that because we were very young at the time. We were still getting to to experience life. I was just starting school, and you're about to join school, and so I understand the doubts that come.
And school by school, we still like once you're 18 years and older, you're exploring, right? You're an adult, right? And by joining school is by not just your career, but also exploring, like getting new friends, and just getting to explore everything.
For sure.
You couldn't explore when you were in high school.
Yeah.
So some of those doubts would be like, maybe atapatana like na watu, maybe atata nikumbuka and all that. Like, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, those doubts are just, I mean, they were understandable. And also people perceive that the love was still not that strong yet, because we're still young also.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do understand the doubts that comes with that. I had them also, but I didn't really dwell too much into them.
Okay, and I believe there was many other challenges that we can not think of right now, but I would like to know what kept you motivated. Like, what kept you motivated?
You know what? Like that initial meeting that we had, it was a very big one for me, and it just kind of like you painted when we met. You painted a picture of what I wanted in a person, in a partner, and I know I was young, but I knew exactly what I was looking for in a partner, and you had pretty much most of those things. And so I was excited to continue knowing you, albeit distance apart. I was excited to continue getting knowing you, experiencing you, and learning about each other, just growing what we were already like started. So that kind of kept me going. And the things you said, and some of the promises the promises you had made and promises we had made to each other. I didn't want to break those. So I held on to that, and I went to the with a leap of faith that it's gonna work. So that gave me the confidence to hold on, And I know it's difficult.
It's difficult,
but for some reason it gave me the confidence to hold on, and I didn't feel like I knew it was gonna be hard, but I was embracing that challenge.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure.
On my side, of course, the first thing to do when you send me the message, like goodbye, my love, I knew, of course, we had started something, and I was not looking forward to starting a relationship, which was gonna end, right? Like, So because this is something that needed like faith, first of all, and just trust. The first thing I did was to pray, and I remember I just took a piece of paper and wrote a prayer down, and I told God to be the guider in our journey. And I just prayed and just be like, you know what, I'm gonna put my faith in this, and I know it's gonna work. That was like my secret between me and God. The second thing that kept me motivated is when you left. Before you left, actually, just as you said, when we met, we talked about so many things, and number one was about the goals that we had for the future. That kind of gave me confidence too. And the rest that really worked for me, and I would really appreciate for this is when you connected me to your family.
Correct. Yeah,
like the first time mom called me, and she was like, I really want to meet you, I want to know you, because I was like, this is for serious. Sure. And I knew that I'm gonna have like another family somewhere. So just her reaching out and just wanting to know how I'm doing and all that gave me confidence, and the motivation to continue.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good one, because just borrowing from that point is one thing I liked about you is the values. I noticed that we share similar values, and going from love, relationship, marriage, and even family. So so when it was very easy for me to connect you to my family, because even me and your siblings, we kind of got along pretty well. And just my family being there for you, and your family being there for me, that was a very that significant, into establishing the bond, even away from each other. Because we kept on talking like we've known each other for a long time. So that really was a big one for sure.
Sure.
When did you finally accept? When did you finally sink in you and pretty much accept that we will not be seeing each other? Because I was gonna go away for a very long period of time.
It
wasn't just for a couple of months, right?
How
did you get it into your mind that, what, I know it's gonna be a long period of time, and but like, was it so difficult for you to?
it was kind of difficult, especially the first few days after
Mhm.
you messaged me.
Mhm.
I remember I couldn't go back to my phone and look at that message. Like it
Mhm.
kind of broke my heart,
Mhm.
honestly. Yeah, but as days go, like as we were like moving forward, our communication,
Mhm.
that really helped me.
Yeah.
Yeah, just communicating and reminding each other why we are
Yeah.
in this, and
For sure.
like the goals we have in the future
Yeah.
for a relationship, and even that kind of helped me, like just to
Yeah. To
comprehend
slowly
everything and
yeah.
slowly, like follow
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
my paths, and just hold on to you,
Yeah.
and the other thing that really, I think, really helped a lot, and it's because you are my first person. I was just done with high school. I had no like relationships back in high school other than
Correct.
friendships. So you're my first person. I am learning love from you. I am learning everything about love from you. So I felt like I had a reason to just hold on to you, so you
Correct.
can show me the world, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because you didn't have anything to compare it to, right?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And I think what worked very well for us is initially we worked on establishing trust.
Yes. Yes.
That's one of the things we worked on.
Which I think is the biggest challenge in any relationship, and
Correct.
especially when you guys are separated by distance. I think it's the biggest
Yeah,
challenge.
trust usually
Trust
is
the biggest challenge.
for sure. And for us initially we worked on establishing that, and I think we did it pretty well, like
Yes.
yeah, and just sticking up to a word. And like for instance, like if I promised to talk to you at a particular time,
Yes.
I made sure that
Yeah.
I call at that time.
Yes.
Or if we have any plans, let's say to do something together, like I remember when we used to watch movies together and stuff
Together,
like that,
yeah.
I'd make
Virtually.
sure that I show up and not
On
just
time.
cancel.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a challenge will be like trying to plan those things and then like
You
not
just
fulfilling those. Yeah, it doesn't help the situation. So we established trust, knowing that whenever you get time, you're gonna call me. Whenever I get time, I'll call you. Whichever time we get, we will be using it and spending it with
yeah.
with each other,
Yeah.
talking. So initially, I thought that was a very good step we took, and that really, really like played a huge role in us making this work.
Yeah. When you left, like don't even think about the challenges. Not thinking about the challenges. What is something, because recently a friend of mine traveled to Kenya, and then I started thinking, wait, like we have moments of like meetups, kids play dates with my friend and all that, and then she happened to leave for 1 month, and that got me thinking, wait a minute, those days that she was close to me, were we using the days, like were we using those like days in a good way, how they say, like, enjoy every moment you have and all that. So do you think something like that clicked in your mind when you left when you left to America, not even concerning me, concerning just your circle?
Like I think the greatest gift you can give people is the gift of your time. And every time you have an opportunity to share that with someone, you have to be fully in the moment. You have to be present in the moment. So like, just borrowing an example used with your friend, when you guys are together, you get to do like so much together. You get to create memories. You get to create moments that like will transcend all this. So initially when I left, I knew time was going to be a problem, right? But I had to find a way that whatever chance I got, that I spend it very wisely. I create some a connection, so that, because that's what I was holding on to. The little things the little moments we have together, the little, like, I was holding on to that. So I made sure that every time I get a chance, I use that time very wisely with you, with my friends from college, with my other friends from home, with my siblings, with my parents, because now I had to divide my time very wisely, because I was the only one here and most of them were there. And of course, I need to talk to you, I need to talk to my family, I need to talk to my friends, I need to talk to, like, so yeah, so I was very like I was very intentional
Yeah.
in how I spent my time, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like in every situation every situation comes with a lesson. One thing I learned, especially with my friend, like the example I'm giving you, is like treasure every moment you get. Yeah, because I also after I left, after I joined you here, that's another thing. Like I thought, I was asking myself, did I spend enough time with my friends? Did I spend enough time with my parents back at home and all that? Those are some of the things that I feel like, even with every event in your life, just think about that. Think about the time that you have. Think about the moments and the people
For
that you have
sure.
around, and just treasure those moments.
Yeah, for sure.
Because there's that time that will come and you're gonna long for them.
That's true.
Yeah.
Just not to be a downer, but just to ask you this: if if you take if you had to take the time back, right? Is there anything you would change from from not just how we met and stuff like
Yes.
that? Would you prefer we have met sooner, later, before me leaving? Is there anything you would change from that? Was there anything you'd change, you do differently?
Honestly,
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything I would change. I feel like everything just fell in place. And as a believer, I felt like everything just when it is God and planned for us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I ask that because maybe people would assume that for a long distance relationship to be strong, you need to have spent with each other a long time, physically first.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess people would assume that,
Yeah.
um as opposed to just knowing each other a year and then you have to leave. And the reason I'm saying this is because there are so many different types of long distance relationships. And
Yes.
for instance, nowadays, even people meet over the phone, over the internet. They've never met physically, right? But they in a long distance relationship that is strong still.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I was just curious to, like, would you wish we had dated longer? The thing is, it's evident because right now we are together, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
we hadn't dated for too long, right? And so it doesn't really matter how much time you spend with each other prior to embarking on a long distance relationship, right?
Yeah.
Because even if we had dated for 5 years or we dated for 5 months, the thing with time, though, like, it always runs out. So as you said, that's why you make it valuable, right? Whether it's those 5 months we are together before
Before leaving.
before being on a long distance relationship, or whether it's or whether we have long period of time before embarking on something like this. It really does not matter. It's just, if you're focused on it, the plans you guys have, and sticking with each other, committing to each other, patience, perseverance, refusing to give up on each other. Those are the key ingredients that would sustain something like this.
Yeah.
For sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think that I will not leave that here. I know we have viewers. I know we have fans like watching, and I would like to leave that question to them. Whether you're in a long distance relationship or not, I would like to know, does it matter? Does it matter how long you date before getting into a long distance relationship? Yes or no? I don't know what to say right now, but I'm gonna be reading your comments in the section below. Please tell us if
Yes.
it really matters.
I'm actually quite curious to see what people think about that.
Yeah,
Because I've thought about it for some time now.
Yeah, I'm like, does it really matter? Anyway, I don't know. It's gonna depend on them. So, and that's why I'm looking forward to bring an expert, a long distance relationship expert, because some of these questions, they're gonna be in a good position to answer, because as I said, our story might be different from someone else's.
For sure.
Yes, and I really wanna delve more into it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I should just say also, nothing can really prepare you for a long distance relationship. You can plan for it as much as you want, and you can but once you are away from your loved one, right? You cannot plan this. You can nothing can get you ready for this, right? Because the longingness will always be there, whether you plan for it or not. You will long for them, you will miss them, you don't want to be with them, they cannot be with you at that time, right? But so nothing can really prepare you. It's a leap of faith. It's just knowing what you want from this person, knowing, refusing to give up. Those are the things that would pretty much sustain something like this,
I know.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's pretty.
Okay, viewers, tell us what you think. That's our story. I know we are not done. We're gonna share more, and we really want to know what you think of what we just shared, and if you're in a familiar or if you're in a similar path, just share with us exactly what is some of the challenges that you guys are facing in a long distance relationship right now. Remember, we're not just talking of a love relationship, we're talking of familial relationship and friendships. Please just feel free to share in the comment section, and we'll be happy to share your story, to share your comments, and discuss them over in our YouTube channel.
Yeah, so far, thank you so much for being patient with us and for supporting us. You guys have been immense, really. You have you have rallied behind us and really supported us.
Yeah, we are at 532 subscribers.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so thank you so much. Please don't forget to comment, don't forget to like, don't forget to share and subscribe. And yeah, thank you so much for everything.
And see you in the next episode.
All right,
Thank
bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.
See you later.